Hey everyone, it's Carlann. I am outside, like literally just steps from Scott. He's inside. He's not okay to be on the video today, and but he is here. He's literally just steps from me, but hopefully, and so he can hear it. He would like to say hi to you, but I'm gonna try and do this so the sun's not entirely in my face so I can see, and I'm gonna read what I am gonna say today just so I don't miss anything. Okay. It has been quite a ride in the last few days. Thank you to all of you who've prayed, sent encouraging songs, notes, and messages. We appreciate every single one of them. Even if we can't reply, just if we don't reply, just don't think we're not getting the message or that we don't care. Scott has stabilized for now, depending what you understand by stabilization, but his meds have greatly increased, and we're very aware that without the medication and your faithful and fervent prayers, he might not be here. Right now, I'm giving him shots that help the excruciating pain and vomiting. And so today he began eating a few bites. And by a few bites, I don't mean a full piece of bread, like 2 bites. So he's eating a little bit and he is not vomiting it up. So this is success. This is good news for us. However, he is on maximum steroids and we cannot increase any more than this. And the reason he's on the steroids is because it reduces the brain swelling. And so the good news is it's working. The bad news is it's working. So at this stage of the game with brain tumors, because he has so many brain tumors, there's really nothing more they can do. So they would just, there's no other treatment. So we suspect from the symptoms that it's because his brain is swelling, and that's why we are having the issues that we're having. So when we give the medication and we notice that, oh, there is an improvement, even if it's slight, what that means is it has reduced the brain swelling and relieved some of the problems. So the bad news is that it's working, which means that is the problem. But now that we're at the maximum dose, and it made a slight difference. So in the past, when we have increased it by 2 milligrams, we notice a difference. He gets animated. He starts talking more. He comes out of the room. He wants to visit with people. He wants to go sit outside. He wants to do all these things. And now we've increased it to the maximum, which is a 4 milligram increase from the 12 milligrams he was on. He's now on the maximum amount for his situation, which is 16 milligrams. And so, and we're not seeing that kind of big difference. We are seeing some relief from the nausea, some relief from some of the other symptoms, but other symptoms are getting worse. So yes, it's working, but unfortunately, this is the end of the road for medicine for his brain at this point. Today, he did spend a few minutes on our very warm deck with Stuart and Serena, his kids. Otherwise, he's been in bed or sleeping on the couch. We are struggling. He is struggling with, he wants to be with us, but yet he just doesn't have the energy. He's too weak. He doesn't have the, just doesn't even have the bandwidth to do it all. And quite frankly, with the way he doesn't have hearing in one ear, and so the other ear, it's not clear, everything's swirling. So it's also very overwhelming for him. So if we do have even the kids over, it's just very, 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 short visits, and we just try and do what we can while he can. So the way things are right now, if his brain continues to swell, as is the natural way of things right now, we have run out of any other options. Like I said, all we are doing right now is simply keeping him comfortable. There's no more treatments of any kind. Since this affects the part of his brain that affects life, so this is the cerebellum and the brain stem. And I'm going to see if I can post a picture after this video on our page that for those of you who maybe don't understand the different parts of the brain, when I'm going to highlight what the different functions of the brain are and what symptoms he's experiencing, and you'll see why this is as critical as it is. Basically, the brainstem is what gives life, and when the brainstem is being shut down by swelling or tumors, then that's the end. So basically right now we're just sort of keeping the swelling at bay enough to just keep him alive. So just enough to keep him away, keep him from seeing Jesus at any moment, but he could still see Jesus at any moment. But at the same time, it could be any moment, but it actually could be days. It could be weeks. If suddenly the swelling begins to decrease again, and we don't know, right? And so it could be weeks, it could be days, it could be moments, we don't know. We do believe in a God who can extend life, who can completely heal, or he can do some variation of things that we can't even fathom. So we don't know what God is ultimately going to choose to do with Scott's life. We are walking in obedience by faith. Scott is ready. We are ready for whatever God has next. By the natural order of things, it does look like the next thing will be him seeing Jesus face to face. And that is hard for those of us who are close to him. So far each day, we have a few moments where we feel we have lots of time left and Scott is clear and doing well. And then those very exact same days, we wonder if he'll even make it a few more hours. I've never liked roller coasters, and this is far wilder than any ride I've ever tried. This is quite the ride. But the blessings are also more than we can imagine. I have to say, yes, things are hard, but things are also very good. So many of you have brought food or offered to bring food. And right now, food is the last thing on my mind. Thankfully, I have a daughter who keeps checking on me. Mom, did you eat? Mom, did you sleep? Mom, have you gotten dressed? And so people who bring food, it's great. Right now, we are very well provided for. There's some of it's people who know Scott, but they don't know me. Some of them are me, but they don't know Scott. And you've offered snacks, meals, freezer food, and we are so, so grateful. Our needs are met and we feel loved, we feel humbled, and so deeply grateful. Some of you have called or messaged to tell me to tell Scott something, and I always have. He's not able to read much right now. One eye is behind a patch, and the other eye has cataracts, and so he can hardly see. So I'm careful to take note of your messages, and then I give them to him when he has capacity to listen. So I often will just read through them either at night or at some point in the day when he has some capacity. Please understand that I can't message you all back. He wants to say thanks to each one of you personally. And if you know Scott, he would want to sit down and have like a 15-minute conversation. He'd want to listen to what's going on in your life, and he'd want to like pray for you. That's his heart. He's yelling from there. Yep, that's true. But I can tell you that he sheds tears out of love for all of you. And those tears are real because he loves you. And those tears are frequent. Every time I say, oh, so-and-so called, or so-and-so left a message, or listen to what so-and-so wrote, or look what someone dropped off. And he just feels loved. We both feel very loved. Keep praying for us. We want to journey well to this. To us, that means being honest. We want to be real. We want to stay close to Jesus. And we want to be obedient to his purpose in our lives. This isn't about us. This isn't about trust me, this is not the journey we would have picked. But this is that we picked each other, we love each other. And this is where God felt he could be the most glorified in our lives at this time. So that's what we want to do. And including you all as part of our testimony. In Revelation, it says that many will be saved by our testimony, by the testimony of the saints. And so we want to live that testimony and be real. So we're letting you into the hard parts, the painful parts. Where the reason he doesn't want to be on screen right now is because he's in a really big sweating episode. The door is open. He's hot, and so he's not appropriately dressed for film. And so just understand that we also do need a little bit of privacy for some of those things. We are more and more aware that we could isolate ourselves and we could do this quietly alone. And that would probably be my bent. I would probably say, I don't need people. I can do this on my own. I don't want to bother anyone. But we want to be an encouragement to you. And we want to allow you to encourage us. We know we're not the only ones suffering. So when you share with us, and feel free to share with us, we know We know we're not the only ones going through hard times. Some of you are going through even harder times than we are. And we want you to share with us, and we will pray. Scott and I pray together when we get things, get messages from you guys. So know that we are praying for you, and we hope and pray that our lives give you hope, and that our lives will lead you to truth and give you freedom to live for Jesus without regret. That's what we're trying to do. And we want to encourage you to do the same. Scott has said over and over and over and over again that he just wants to run the race well. He and I pray daily for each person who listens to our videos or hears our story, that they would be drawn closer to Jesus. We're full of joy when we hear from those who have chosen to live for Christ or return to him, or who are renewed more to live for him, more purposely obedient to Christ. This just gives us so much joy. We had no idea. We started these videos just to give everyone an update that lived far away. And I was getting so many messages at the beginning, and I couldn't keep it all on track. So I decided to start a page. People could just go and check in when they felt like it. I didn't know who would check. I had no idea that people, complete strangers, would follow us from different parts of the world and would send us messages, and that people would change their perspective and take faith and renew their faith. So we're just truly humbled. This is Jesus's gift to you, and we're humbled to have played a part. You bless us more than you know and more than I can say. We know we're not alone. You guys have made us feel like we're part of a family. We're newly married, as you know, but we feel like we're old in so many ways, just in how we've grown through so many hard things. But you guys have made this possible with your prayers, your financial support, so we could do the treatments as long as we did, so we could buy the equipment to keep him home, so we didn't have to take him to the hospital. We're grateful to the palliative care team that is like super helpful. And now that I'm giving him needles in his legs, we will have some nursing care coming in a couple times a week to help me refill my syringes. Other than that, so far we are doing a lot of it on our own, and we are just so grateful to God that we have family support for this. So thank you. Scott misses being here with you guys, but he is right around the corner. We love you all. Keep praying for us. We just love you so much.